Men can't be waiting for months on end for help because it could be too late.
It's good to talk, and Malesallowed is a network of men reaching out to those suffering in silence. Paul Thompson helped found the group after battling his own demons with mental health, which 6 years ago led him to attempt to take his own life.
I set my alarm clock to be on Table Bridge early, and a gentleman reached out to me. Basically, it's what I needed. He was there and there was no judgment. He actually made me feel safe. He made me feel that I could talk and give me the time to actually open up. And we sat down for at least an hour or 2 hours, and I just started crying. And that's when it started to really hit me that actually, you know what, I'm talking now. This is what's happening now. I'm actually opening up, I'm crying, I'm healing. And it's, for me, it's therapy, talking.
And last year, Paul saw his role reversed with another chance encounter.
I went across the bridge for a jog and I saw a gentleman there, and I just knew straight away that he wasn't in a good place with body language, and it was just the instinct I had, my gut feeling. I turned around and I reached out, and we sat down for at least 3 hours before an ambulance come, and we were just basically talking, mirroring what the guy was doing with himself, and that was enabling me to talk, reach out and feel safe. And that's exactly what I did naturally with this guy, you know, 6 years later. And when I went home that evening, I did a Facebook video, and there was 15 of my friends that reached out on that evening. And for me, that hit home, knowing that there's a lot of people out there suffering.
Malesallowed meet for regular counselling sessions across Plymouth, which are hosted by men who've had to overcome their own struggles with mental health.
The reason why I got involved in Malesallowed, I could see what Paul was doing, and for me, I think it would be selfish of me not to share my experience to help others. I couldn't understand why I had these torturing thoughts. I couldn't understand why I was so baffled and unhappy with life. I just couldn't do life, and I really struggled. And I got to a point where I just didn't believe in myself anymore. I didn't believe in the world. I didn't feel connected to my kids. And the only options I had was either to take my life or just to move away and start a new life. And it's actually really courageous to reach out and to talk about how you're feeling.
It's having someone who's been there, which really helps, because you're in the perfect position to be able to advise someone how to get out of that situation if you've done it yourself. And not having that when I was going through some terrible stuff, you know, and not being able to reach out because I didn't have that network of people. I felt a load off my shoulders once I let it out. Instead of keeping it in for all that time, it was just going to eat me alive. And that's what we advise, is let it out. We're here to listen.
I've always had a level of anxiety, and one of my earliest memories is when I was 5.
Paul and his team are always looking for novel ways to spread their message. They've even fashioned their own version of carpool karaoke, where men chat about issues in their life whilst behind the wheel. They're also reaching out to local schools. Today they're discussing the stigmas around mental health with students at City College, Plymouth.
I follow these guys on social media, I follow all their work they do. It's so important to get out there, raise awareness, campaign their kind of work, to seek to eradicate that social paradigm of toxic masculinity that oppresses so many men, and they feel like they have to put a facade up, which causes a lot more damage than it should.
It helps break the stigma around mental health. You know, mental health is perhaps more important than physical health, because mental health affects every aspect of your life, and people should be encouraged to talk more about it.
Suicide is still the biggest killer of men under 45. But these guys are now hoping to be part of a movement that reverses that trend, by encouraging us all to understand sometimes it's okay not to be okay. Nick Smith, ITV News, Plymouth.